This is a recreation, not a literal account of what happened. I had been interested in trying an entheogen for some time. I had heard of Salvia through a site named aeroid.org, and I had heard that it was legal. I went to a smoke shop in Kensington Market, and sure enough, they had salvia extract at 10x, 20x, and 30x potency. I bought the 20x variety for $20. It came in a vial that contained approximately 1 gram of small dark leaves that looked like you could make tea out of. I had nothing to do that evening, so I decided to get fucked up. I had leftover capsules of Vyvanse, a stimulant, and Nabilone, a synthetic cannabinoid that feels like a very pure THC-based strain of cannabis. My parents were out, which I think is a good thing. No one likes to get caught by their parents when they are high. So I opened 2 capsules of Vyvanse 50 milligrams and proceeded to snort the powder. Vyvanse is only absorbed when taken orally. I think most of the powder went down my throat into my esophagus. I took another 20 milligram Vyvanse capsule orally, too. It takes about 2 hours to kick in. I then got my Nabilone container. It contained 0.5 milligram capsules. I took 2 out and snorted the powder, which once again went down my throat. Then I swallowed 4 capsules. I waited for a while. I played Mario Kart 64, waiting for the effects to kick in. Around 40 minutes into it, I started to feel stoned. My eyes became more relaxed and warm. It felt like a mood lift, honestly. I could feel an increased tendency to focus on the television screen. There was a faint blue outline around it. I genuinely felt good. As I continued to play, roughly at the 1 hour mark, I noticed the game was becoming repetitive. It was as if the game was looping over and over. Left turn, straight, left, straight, like my character was driving around in a circle. This made me laugh, and so I let out some stony laughter and a goofy smile. Slowly but surely, I lost all skill. I kept on finishing last. I decided to end the game as I was useless at it. I could hear a whir in my mind like the sound a TV makes when it's turned on. I decided to go for a walk, so I put my shoes on. I was wondering why it felt like it was taking so long. It felt like I was tying my shoe for a while. The whir got stronger and I could feel an energetic upward buzz, like I was becoming energized. The faint, thin outline around objects also had this upward motion. I finally got out the door as I walked, and as I walked, the same thing repeated over and over, one foot in front of the other. I felt like there was a bouncing sensation each time I took a step. I looked at a yard with a short white fence around its periphery and saw an aura surrounding it. It was the aura of a rabbit, hopping up and down. This feeling of wonder and serenity began to hit me in short waves. Everything had an aura reminiscent of a magical young hopping rabbit. The air became moist. Time slowed down. There was a feeling stirring in my gut and my heart of, oh my god, this is so cool. But as I thought it, I felt as though I needed to gasp in amazement. It was just a feeling of, wow, I feel so great. My heart is in utter excitement. I looked up at the cosmos and saw a large pink tunnel with a rabbit hopping along the outskirts, hopping towards the center of this strange tunnel. The stars were twinkling that night. Looking up at the sky, I was amazed that these stars were tens of trillions of kilometers away. In my mind, I was enjoying every moment of thought and ideation. My thoughts began to branch off further and further, one thought leading to a tangent that itself led to a tangent. I felt my mind and my thoughts evolving outwards, encompassing more and more thoughts. It was like my mind was spreading and engulfing the tree of thoughts. I looked at the ground and saw a magnetic loop with many patterns, shine and rotate with brilliance. The angles of houses' walls were no longer quite 90 degrees from each other either. Every time I saw one of these magnetic loop patterns, I would get this feeling of perspective shifting related to light speed or infinite speed. I felt like a friendly, excited android with a screen for a face who walked in looped patterns. All of the walls looked like all of the trees looked like giant mushrooms, and there was motion in the branches. A curved branch would emit a curving motion. All of the trees were curving. I finally got home, and this is when it really hit me. I looked at the tree nearest my house and got the impression that the bark was full of futuristic technological patterns. Light was emitting patterns that radiated and extended outward from the bulb. I tried to play some more Mario Kart but couldn't focus on the game. My character would simply go off course and lag behind the rest of the cars. I remembered that I had a vial of Salvia. Fuck, I thought, that would be intense. Yeah, right, am I gonna take some? That would be fucked up. But after trying a few video games and I realized I couldn't play properly. So I lied down on the couch, my arms and legs extended and then curled into spirals. There was a feeling of excitement in my heart. I felt so good. It was as if something amazing was about to happen, but it never did. Just a feeling of impending amazement. I closed my eyes and saw a stream of energy race from the bottom of my vision to the top. I was full of energy. I felt like telling the world that I felt great, and no one can know how great I feel because it's a personal feeling of pure euphoria. It felt like everything was happening in fast motion, as opposed to slow motion, and I was merging with the world. I was melting in fast motion, with the cars moving outside and the air moving inside it. With the cars moving outside the house and the air moving inside it. I was filled with wonder as to what would happen if I smoked salvia at that moment. I pulled out my vial of 20x. I made a compulsive decision to try it. My hands and arms were flashing in silver. I put a small test amount of salvia into my pipe. I could really feel the speed kicking in now. My heart was beating at a mile a second, filled with fear and excitement. I knew how powerful salvia could be. I knew how powerful salvia could be. I put roughly a 1/100th of a gram of leaf matter into the pipe that had a metal mesh in its center. I lit up, covered the hole on the side of the pipe, inhaled and tasted something similar to oolong tea. I exhaled and waited, my heart beating a mile a second. Suddenly, I am falling. I notice that what I am falling into is a reality made of pink cake. I begin to laugh. I can't believe what I am seeing. I am in the inside of a cake with round rooms inside it. I suddenly notice small cake beings greeting me and asking me what I think of their creation. At this point I am laughing hysterically. The feeling I have for these beings is one related to cuteness, but mixed with a sense of absurdity. The experience fades quickly, and I feel as though I am back in THC land where everything is looping. Interested in what I just experienced, I decide to try more of this salvia. I open the door to the outside and breathe in some fresh air. My sense of reality is slightly fractured. As I look outside, I get this amazing feeling. Life is in fast motion and my heart is beating fast. Light emitting from the lamps looks so pure. The sky, in its last hour of blueness, looks amazing and deep. The feeling is reminiscent of the endorphin rush that happens right after rigorous exercise, when I am still breathing heavily. But this is amped up. I feel like screaming, "Woohoo!" I feel great. So interested as I am, I load about 25 milligrams of the leaf matter into the pipe and take a huge hit, holding the flame on the matter the whole time. This time it burns my lungs slightly. As I hold it in, my heart starts to beat quickly. I exhale and wait about 10 seconds before I see my own face. My vision is flashing and moving downwards as I see my face. It seems to be flashing in synchrony with my heartbeat. I suddenly realize what I've done. I think, oh shit, with a small, dry laugh, as I realize that Salvia is a real entheogen, a real drug. I look around and my surroundings disappear. The walls look like the inside of a pink circus tent. Suddenly, my jaw drops. What have I done? Excuse me. A feeling of shame comes over me as I realize what I've done. I've smoked salvia. As my jaw drops, I have the feeling that my room is one compartment of a Ferris wheel and that I'm on a ride. I feel very confused by what is happening. Suddenly, the wheel stops and the side of my room opens. I get the feeling that there is a marching band coming my way. I hear chanting in the distance. The sound gets louder and louder. Suddenly, the cake beings appear and take my body. They are chanting a weird melody. As they take me away, I grasp for my room, trying to stay in my reality. The cake beings chant something like, "No, no, no, you can't go there," repeatedly. I grasp desperately for my room. I am carried away from the room and feel despair. I don't know if I'll ever regain my sanity if I don't stay in my room. Nevertheless, my attempts to stay prove worthless. I am no longer inside my body at this point. I see everything happening from above myself. I watch myself being taken apart from these beings. As my arm comes off, I expect gore, but nothing comes out. Then my other arm comes off. A sense of relief comes over me as I realize that I'm not being ripped to shreds. The beings take my legs away from me. Then my head separates from my body. The beings slap their hands together and repeat, "Now you are ready to be one of us, one of us, one of us." I feel as though I am no longer in control of my body. There are layers of these beings in rows, moving with each other and getting work done. I smile and frown in timing with the smiles and frowns of the beings. I see the beings and they are wearing gloves and boots. In the distance, there is a giant pink otherworldly female entity guiding the beings as if she is the conductor of an orchestra. We all move rhythmically and help each other create this cake realm. I suddenly realize I am not supposed to be here and feel an urgency to know myself and know what and who I am. I become disembodied and travel a strange void. I find myself in my body, in mid-air, returning to the couch I was on when I took the salvia. Everything has a pinkish-yellowish hue that slowly dissipates. What the fuck, I think to myself. I am happy to be back in my own realm. I feel a sense of gratitude as I realize I am okay. For a period of time, I didn't know that I was in a foreign realm. As a worker, the sense of I'm going insane had passed and I was just working in this timeless realm as others were. I'm going insane had passed as a thought quite a while ago, as I was being taken apart. I am humbled by the experience. I am happy to be back in the body of Daniel Roland. I decide to listen to some trance music to feel better. As I do, my mood is lifted a whole order of magnitude. Every tone is overflowing with beauty. At this point, the Vyvanse is kicking in at full strength. I'm peaking on Nabilone. The music is almost breaking apart with beauty. I feel the utmost respect for reality and a grandiose sense of gratitude. The feeling is indescribable. There is a hypnotic sense of euphoria hitting me back and forth through my body. I feel as though I'm about to cry at the beauty of this happening. I go for another walk, feeling better. The feeling of salvia isn't fully out of my body just yet, but I feel better every 10 or 15 minutes. This walk is intended to last about 15 to 20 minutes. As I walk along, I notice that every time I get close to a curve in the road, it seems to take forever to actually reach it. I look at the trees, and they are moving around, twisting and contorting, ever moving, ever beautiful. Everything I look at is creating spirals that look like fractals. My heart is soaring once again. I want to scream out, I love the world. My heart feels so real. So I come back home, continue listening to music, and enjoy the visuals. Now it looks like the world is made of simple fractals. As I listen to the music, the world around me moves and morphs to the beat and the melody. There is a sense of things becoming more and more real. My vision is zooming in more and more, giving more and more significance to objects in a continuous stream of forward movement that never ends. I feel as though I am about to cry with joy. There is a futuristic blue outline around everything. Everything looks cool. Everything looks slick. I feel as though I am melting into my surroundings. I am excited about how intensely I feel love for the world. I am in true euphoria. Having forgotten about the negative experience I had earlier, I decide to go big or go home. My body feels like it's being energized from my feet up to my head. I feel a strong desire to just do something, so I fill my pipe bowl with the 20x extract and walk upstairs to my bed. I lie down, feeling the current of energy that's filling my heart with pure joy. How can things go wrong? I lie down in bed, turn the lighter on, and light up the leaf matter. I inhale and feel the burning in my lungs. I get butterflies and my heart begins to beat quickly. Again. This time, I go into the experience feeling optimistic. I hold the smoke in for about 10 seconds as I've completed the inhalation. After I've completed the inhalation, I let the smoke out and take a second toke. I only remember exhaling part of what I had inhaled. As I'm looking at the smoke, everything stops and I get the most intense feeling of déjà vu I have ever felt. I feel as though I am falling towards the frozen image and it begins to fractalize and merge with itself. The fractalized image forms a flower-like petaled wonder of a shape. As I fall through, I accelerate. A tunnel forms with light at the end. I feel as though my spirit, outside of my body, is racing through this tunnel in a manner of near infinite speed. My body is completely left behind, and all I can see is this fluid spirit that looks like a grain of rice, traveling through this tunnel. There is no I here, just my spirit. My spirit passes a threshold, and I hear a cheer. It then enters a splitter, and splits into many parts. Then it divides over and over, dividing and compartmentalizing. My soul is split into dozens of spirits, and I am no longer one, but I am many spirits. I am no longer one, but I am many spirits. What happens from here is difficult to recall. What I see is energy from my soul forming plant-like kaleidoscopic images that continuously morph, split, and recombine. My view of this is both as part of the soul and from outside the kaleidoscope. Next, I experience what it's like to be the earth, one consciousness that all humans and animals make up. Then I feel as though I am moving through a tunnel at light speed, in a repeating loop. I am shot into space. I see stars moving past me as lines that are elongated. I move into a space that is pink and hear another cheer. Like when you win at solitaire, I see tracers emanating from a central space, repeated images of my traveling soul. They quickly fill my vision and create a dome-like area that is filled with repeating, moving shapes. I am flying over colored hexagonal mountains that are changing continuously. I am flying through a simple hexagonal structure, one made of hexagons connecting to each other in a spiral pattern. As I am flying, I slowly realize that I am seeing this hexagonal pattern in my mind, and that I'm actually sitting on my living room couch. I go back to my bedroom. My vision is waving very heavily and powerfully. It looks like I'm on a designer club drug like one in the 2C series. As I look around, I notice that what I am looking at is in intense focus, and everything else is fading in the background. I look at a comic book and notice it coming closer and further repeatedly, with the waves that seem to follow my heartbeat. There are light-like rays moving along with the waves, like when you are scuba diving in the sea and light rays pierce the water. They pulsate heavily along with the waves, and rather aggressively too. I am looking at the book I am looking at is itself in comic book form visually. Everything I look at comes closer and takes on a comic book-like look. Little hallucinated visual blips move across my vision and create three-dimensional waves, as if the air was made of water. As the waves form, they create fluid electronic sounds that reach my ears. I wave my hands through the air. It appears to be made of water. Looking at the hallway light is most beautiful. I close my door and stay in my bed. I feel very bare. My mind feels very open to suggestion. I begin to believe that a bomb has been dropped right above my house and will reach it any minute. Then I hear the police outside. Wham! I hear the door downstairs being rammed by a battering ram. Bam! With each hit I become more and more frightened. I hide underneath my covers. I think about what I had experienced that night. It started so innocently with the cake beings and the cake reality, but there was a heavy weight on my heart. Adrenaline was soaring through it as I thought about the Salvia reality I had experienced a few dozen minutes earlier. The out-of-body, non-reality, singularity-like experience that was all I knew at the time. I continued to hear the battering ram slam into the door below me. Every time it rammed, I felt like letting out a short cry. I felt like whimpering. I hid myself deeper within the blanket. Whatever I thought of felt real. If I thought of a car crashing into my house, I was almost expecting it to happen. There was almost no barrier between my imagination and my perceived reality. I had been traumatized by Salvia. I lay underneath my covers, my head out of view to the outside world, trying my best not to believe what I was hearing, but failing. My memory reverted back to the trip I had just had. I'd had no body, no eyes or ears, just pure experience. My reality had fallen apart, and I didn't know how to put it back together. I laid in bed, waiting for the fear to dissipate. After about 45 minutes, the powerful waves moving through the watery air slowly softened. Relief started coming into my mind as I realized the experience was coming to an end. I stayed for another hour, and the waves softened some more. I stayed for another hour, and the waves softened some more. At 11 a.m., not having slept, I was sitting on the rug in my living room. My good friend Andy came to see me. As I spoke to him, I felt like I had Down syndrome. I couldn't relate to the world. I couldn't speak properly, but I managed to make sense. Andy said, I think this is the highest I've ever seen you. I don't think I've ever seen you this high. I was surprised, as I thought I was now in the afterglow of the trip. So this experience is a recreation of one of the craziest nights of my life. I don't remember it properly, but I recreated the whole story so that it kind of fits into a coherent story. Thanks for watching. I hope you found entertainment out of it. Thanks. Peace out.